Is it working?
Yes, yes.
Yay, hi.
Hi.
So it's going to be hard for me not to just laugh and smile uncontrollably. During this interview, I'm with my dear friend Tiffany Hedman, who is a dancer with English National Ballet, and we grew up together studying at San Francisco Ballet. And we were friends as children, and we're still friends now. And she has been kind enough to do this interview with me. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Good. Okay, so I'll just start with my questions. Can you just describe your upbringing and how you got into ballet, how you started studying it?
Okay, I was born in Clovis, California, which is a suburb of Fresno, California, which is mostly agriculture. So we didn't really know at a young age much about arts or anything, but this is actually a funny story how I got into it. My sister is 3.5 years older than me, and my mom realized at a young age that she couldn't jump off of 2 feet.
Oh,
So she thought, well, for coordination, let's put her in ballet. It was a half-hour tap, half-hour, yeah, no, the other way, half-hour ballet, half-hour tap combo class.
uh-huh.
So that's what she did every Tuesday. So I just grew up. When I was born, she started at 3, so she was already doing it. I just thought, you did that on Tuesdays and you went to church on Sundays.
I see.
So I only got into it from the beginning because I wanted to be like my sister.
I see. I didn't know that. That's so cute. Ooh, it's starting to rain here.
I know, it just did here too.
Weird timing. So what did you like about dancing when you were little? And did you know then so you were 3, you said, when you started?
I started at 3 too, yeah.
Did you know then that that's what you wanted to do when you grew up, was be a ballet dancer?
No, actually I didn't. I loved the tap part of it, which was the second half, because it made noise and I just loved it. But the ballet part, they would always just have us be at the bar. And my mom would have to stand with me when I was 3 and 4, and I think up till 5, maybe 6, at the bar, because I would cry otherwise. I wasn't scared of it. I just found it boring and uncomfortable, I think. So I needed her right there for support. But as I got older, I did already think at a young age that it's harder to find jobs in tap. So I had already been thinking of that. And my sister had already looked into, she wanted to be a ballerina. So I think I, again, followed her in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it grew on me as I got older.
Yeah.
I took the tap shoes off.
I see.
Yes.
I was rambling about how they make those point shoes that are like half tap shoes, half point. I don't know if
they're dangerous, because then you don't remember if you're tapping or you're ballet dancing. And you twist an ankle in no time. You got to know what you're doing. Got to keep it simple, one at a time.
All right, my next question is, who were your most influential teachers growing up and why?
The first one would be Margaret Horde. So she was my teacher from, it wouldn't have been from 3, but because I came to San Francisco Ballet. She's the one who really got me started on loving it. And she was really good. And then going to San Francisco, I think Irina Jakobsen was my favorite, because that was priceless to have classes with her. It was amazing. And Lola Davila, I loved her.
Yeah.
She also, the two of them together was the perfect combination. So I think in the early years, those 3 people were the most influential for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved both of them as well. Especially Lola. Lola was very motherly.
Yes, to me too. That's what I loved about it. Yeah. I know you'll get into this later with styles, but both of their styles were so different that I think we were lucky to have that, because we weren't, I know we go into this later, so I'll.
Yeah, no, that's true though. So how would you describe the training that we had at San Francisco Ballet School, and do you think that they trained us in a certain style?
Yeah, that's what I was just going on. I think we were lucky because there wasn't a specific style like Lola did. She had some balancing, I think, in her, like the way she did all her footwork was excellent. Mm-hmm. Irina Jakobsen was proper. Then we had Jorge Esquivel, he was Cuban.
Yeah.
We had Pascal Leroy, she was French. So we had so many different styles. I think it's really important nowadays to not just be in a place that has one style, because you become, I'm going to say the word style again. I keep saying it. You
That's
become
okay.
stylized, and then they can't hire you. Like, I respect every school, and School of American Ballet is wonderful. But I think when you're trained at a young age on just one style, sometimes if you have the motivation to want to go to a company in Europe, it might be a bit more difficult because you haven't been trained in another style. So it's good, I think, at a young age to get used to all different kinds.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel so lucky that at that school we had a little bit of everything.
Because it was easy for us to change back and forth. I feel like even back then when we would do the showcase, we could easily switch to whatever Irina Jakobsen was doing, or we would do like Stars and Stripes. So we didn't think of it too much because we always had it.
Yeah, very cool. And I even have some memory of someone teaching like a Bournonville style too. I can't remember who that was.
We did.
But we had it.
I don't remember too. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time at that school as well. My only complaint is that I wish they had taught me to do fouettes on stage, because that would have helped me later.
Well,
but aside
you and I have talked about this. That's like the one thing for some reason we never did in class. Like, we did partnering, we did everything. Like, Alice of Conturns, like we did reverse with Miss Volmar, we did reverse like Italian fouettes. We did everything, but we never did 32 fouettes. It's so weird.
Yeah, that would have kind of helped later, but oh well, no hard feelings. Oh yeah, so one of the things that I loved about training there was how close we were to the company. And especially when we got to do Nutcracker with them and stuff, taking class with them and rehearsing with them and just kind of sharing their life a little bit. And I just loved that so much. And I feel like most major schools don't offer that necessarily. So I was just wondering if there were certain company members at San Francisco Ballet that you looked up to or admired.
Back then, I loved Petita Waldo. I loved Mariel Maffrey, Kathleen Mitchell, Tina LeBlanc, all of them. I mean, I looked up to all of them. But yeah, it was very lucky because you see your end goal of where you want to get.
Right.
And it was nice that they gave us opportunities to actually be in the same studio as the company, which a lot of schools, even here at English National Ballet right now, the school is in a separate building. Tamara is trying to bring it to the same building, which I think is priceless for young dancers.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I really, I was friends with Icolo like my whole life. And he was inspirational to me. And also Evelyn Cisneros.
Yes, her. See, I'm forgetting everybody. Roman Riken, I love too, and Tony Randazzo, and he became a ballet master for me in Boston.
Oh, that's right.
Nico Nisanen, he was there.
Right, we know him.
Became my boss. Yeah.
Let's see here. So I never asked you this before, but did you do summer programs away? Like, did you go away? And if so, were there ones that you liked more than others?
I did tons, because the first time I went away was 9, because my sister was 3.5 years older. So she went to Houston Ballet first. So I did two years in a row to Houston Ballet, then 2 years to Pacific Northwest Ballet. And those were all following her.
Oh, I see.
And then, I was too young to audition and get in. So once I got there, my mom would ask them if I could audition for one of their, it wasn't even, I guess it was part of the local kids doing summer program.
I see. Yeah.
Because technically I was too young. And then after that, on my own, I went back to Houston, I think 2 more times. And then.
Sorry. So you were saying you went back to Houston twice, and then something about San Francisco?
They always wanted us to leave if possible, right? Am I remembering right? Yeah. I think so, because they wanted to make room for kids coming in, and they wanted us to experience other things.
That makes sense.
So I went to School of American Ballet, I think maybe 2 or 3 years. And no, 2 years, I think. And then I did do the last 2 summers in San Francisco.
I see. Yeah. Yeah, I went to I did one summer at CPYB, which was
Oh,
intense. And I did a couple other ones that.
oh, I did Boston for 2 years too.
Oh,
That's
did
why I
you?
ended up
Okay.
going. Yeah, yeah, I forgot about that.
um oh yeah, so there's the whole competition thing. And it's like if you watch that documentary First Position,
Yeah,
they make it seem like you have to do these competitions when you're growing up. It's your only shot at becoming a
yeah.
professional, which wasn't my experience at all. But I know that they're really important for a lot of dancers. Like, did you ever compete? I don't know. How do you feel about all of that?
Honestly, it's not something. I mean, it wasn't in our world because San Francisco Ballet didn't agree with that. And at that time, and I actually agree with it as well, that it's not always the best route to take. And it's not the only route. But now it's because everything has become so, everybody posts all their videos on YouTube and social media. And sometimes that's even how you get auditions.
Oh,
Um, it's just, yeah, I feel like it has almost become that it's an advantage if you win a medal or have done some sort of competition.
yeah,
And I think it's great as an experience to
yeah,
go through the whole process, put the kids on stage, but I don't think it should be as important. Not so much importance should be put on it, because dancers that choose not to do it, should get the same value getting into a company as somebody who just maybe, I mean, you rehearse one. I also think it's not always accurate because you rehearse one piece for maybe 6 months, one solo that you're going to do.
yeah,
And then you win it over, some other people, but that's just that one solo that you have perfected.
right.
So it's more of an overall. You need to be looking more than just one time. But I do see the value in letting dancers, get their nerves up and the pressure.
Exactly. Yeah,
But I
I know.
don't think it should be decision making
Yeah,
for companies.
yeah, I wish that I had done like just one or two just to kind of become more courageous.
No, I know, me too. I wish I would have done it just to try the actual like process. Like if we could have had somebody in the studio coaching us doing solos and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
I think it would have helped to not be so afraid when I first entered a company of doing a solo in a room in front of people, because you would have
absolutely.
already had that pressure.
Right, right. Same here.
But I don't think they, at that time, I don't think they wanted us to.
I never even heard talk of it. I don't remember
There wasn't.
hearing.
Yeah.
There was one girl, that girl from Macedonia, who went and
Oh,
competed at
yes.
the Prix de Lausanne, and she got through
And
like the first.
Mayo.
That's right. Yeah, but aside from that,
Yeah.
it wasn't really a part of my.
They wanted us to focus on training more than focus on that, which I agree with as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, me too. Um, let's see here. Oh yeah. So, did you ever have a moment in your life when you just thought, I don't want to do this anymore?
All the time. I still do all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's a relationship that has its ups and its downs. There's the good parts of it, but it's also can be a very cruel, unforgiving world.
Yeah,
So there's times that it is a challenge to stay a part of it. And I think if you want to make it long term, you have to close your eyes to a lot of what is going on. So there's definitely, it's a beautiful art form and there's beautiful things about it, but it does get difficult. So I think that's normal. You shouldn't feel bad when you think about, oh, maybe I don't want to do this, because it's normal.
yeah, yeah. Um, so what, like when you've had those moments, is there anything particular that keeps you coming back to it?
I personally am not a person that'll give up. So I'm stubborn in that way.
Good for you.
So even more so, if somebody tells me I can't do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been so many things with my health issues that I'm not supposed to have been able to do afterwards. And it's supposed to have stopped me from so many things. No, I don't let anything stop me, including myself, even when I get down on it. If I had a goal from the beginning, I try to stick with it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I'll probably be 70 years old with a cane, still being like, I'm still trying to go. I'm not giving up yet.
Same here. They're gonna have to call security on me. Well, at San Francisco Ballet, they have that huge steel door. I mean, it's like something out of Lord of the Rings.
Is it
like,
different than it was before?
Oh yeah, in the lobby when you walk in.
Oh yeah,
there's the front desk, but you can't just go and get in the elevator or walk up the stairs or anything. There's this enormous steel door with like this big crank on it. And it's for people like me who are gonna, you know, try to keep coming back.
No, I think it's more for the parents because I think they've had
yeah.
issues in the past with parents.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh yeah, so for you, so what are the most rewarding things about being a professional dancer?
Getting to do what my passion was as a young kid and doing something that I love and care deeply about and get paid for it is the best part.
Yeah.
And that's what you always have to remember on those times that you do want to stop it, because there's so many people doing jobs that they could care less about. So at least even when you're having a bad day and nothing seems to be going right, at least you're in the studio doing something you love.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, okay. So what has been the most challenging role that you've danced?
I saw that question and I don't know how to answer, because each, like, some of the core roles I did early on probably were technically challenging for me because I had to stay online while I was doing that at the same time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But if it's a challenge, if you're talking about challenge in being strong and being fearless, then it would be more of the foresight choreography for me, getting out on stage by myself and pushing it.
Oh yeah.
But that's also fun. It's also fun for me to do that. So I guess for me, it's hard to answer because each thing, I've done such a wide variety of rep, it's hard to compare. They each have their own, you know, qualities of why they're difficult. Yeah, and each day just how you're feeling or how your body is can be make it more or less challenging.
Yeah, I think for me generally the more challenging roles have been, because I always, my strengths I felt were more with acting and kind of I don't know, musicality and stuff. And so if I had to do a role that didn't have any character, that was just all physicality, that would make me nervous because I would feel like I couldn't cover up my shortcomings like with acting. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oh yeah, do you have like a favorite style to perform? Like the Forsyth or Balanchine or classical full length?
I don't know if everybody heard that. Definitely Forsyth.
Forsyth is your favorite?
Hands down my favorite.
Oh, cool. That's so cool.
Sylvie of In the Middle, Somewhat Elevated is my favorite role. The most favorite one. Is that English? Yeah. The most favorite.
It works. Totally.
Well, anyway, yeah, it's the one I've enjoyed.
That's so cool.
Loved the best because I felt like that. I'm like what you were saying with acting. I like those kind of roles where you can just go out and be you.
Yeah.
And of course you have to have attitude about it, but I have an attitude, so it's perfect. I love it. It's hard for me to be on stage doing the roles that are like really sweet and dainty because that's not who I am in a personality. So the ones that fit me more are the ones that are trying to prove something, not in a bad way, but just show who I am.
Yeah. Well, I've seen clips, I think, of you doing that role, and you just look phenomenal. So
I loved it.
Oh yeah, so I feel like most or all dancers have a sort of routine that they go through on the day of a performance. So I was wondering if you have a routine or if you have any pre-performance rituals that you do.
Actually, no, because I try to make a performance no different than a rehearsal. So when we're getting towards the end of rehearsals and we're doing run-throughs, I try to pretend it's a show. Because if I start to do different stuff on the day of the show, I'll put too much pressure on myself and it's a show and it'll make me nervous.
Yeah.
So I always try to tell myself before a show of something important, you don't have to do any more or any less than you've done in the past 2 or 3 rehearsals that you just did on stage, not in costume.
Right.
So that way, if I did all this stuff beforehand, it would be like, oh, this is the day. Like, right. I like to keep it just like, well, it's another rehearsal and
that makes total sense.
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
And this guy does sit with me.
Yeah, I've seen him in a lot of your pictures. Does he have a name?
Well, he's just the nerd.
Oh, okay.
the nerd candies. But he comes, it's not just with shows. He's an international nerd. He travels everywhere.
That's very cool. All right, I'm afraid it's going to cut us off at 12:30, so I'm just going to go ahead and ask the last sort of 3-part question, which is,
Okay.
Do you have a worst piece of advice that you've ever received? Do you have a best piece of advice that you've ever received? And do you have any advice for aspiring dancers?
I'm going to go to the advice I have first.
Okay.
Never compare yourself to other people. Never look at somebody else and say, oh, they have, bigger jump. They can do more turns. They have a better adagio. They have better feet, because we all have special qualities within ourselves. And I think that's the biggest mistake. And it's hard for me too. It's hard for everybody, but never compare yourself to other people. Everybody has their path. Mine has been slower at times, then it goes faster than slower. Some people shoot right up to the top,
right,
and then stop, and some people take really slow and steady. So I think just keeping your own path.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think that's so true. Yeah,
it's so important, because you never want to be competitive with another person, only you.
Yeah,
because you're only going to be with you for the rest of your ballet career.
Right, definitely.
As in worst advice, it's not in words. Sorry, I'm trying to talk fast. But watching through 17 years of having a job, ballet mistresses, masters, choreographers, I've learned when I become on the other side of the room what I do and do not want to be. So it's like advice through actions, because I've seen mistakes that are made, and we all make them. We're humans, but I also see the qualities I do want to be like.
Yeah. That makes
sense. And best advice was from my mom: never give up.
Yeah, I love that so much. I love your mom.
Oh, me too. I almost made me cry. I was getting all like,
I know, I love both of you. All right, well, I'm going to say
we fit it all in. We did.
I know. This was so fun. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Anytime.
And maybe later we'll have a part 2 or something, because there's so much more I'd love to ask you about.
Yeah, that would be fun. We should.
And good luck with your knee recovery.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk soon. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.